Hi, this is KryptoSeoul Erica. Hello, how are you? It's episode 19. It was the holiday week. I hope you all had a good holiday, Lunar New Year holiday. My voice is again a little bit down, so please excuse my voice. I was a little bit, I don't know what happened. Um, Hi, how are you? I hope the timing is okay and the background is still not really improved, but I'm gonna go ahead anyway. Let's see. So today, there's been really recent news just an hour ago, and I would like to share some of the um, new, new news. What happened this today, just a few hours ago. Hello, Paul. How are you? Um, so okay, let's go ahead with the news. So, Financial Supervisory Service, the head of Financial Supervisory Service (FSS) in Korea, his name is Choi Hyung-sik. He made a statement today, announcement that he will support the normalization of cryptocurrency trading. So he said that he will support the banks for also opening new accounts for the exchanges, and also the fact that they should not disrupt the market system and go ahead with new opening of new account openings, and that although the banks are kind of trying to see whether who's going to take the charge in going forward in making new accounts with exchanges, and they're kind of hesitating, as I mentioned before. But he said other banks should also take charge and step forward. So he made a statement that FSS or the government is not trying to disrupt the market, trying to not to suppress it, and they should go ahead. People should go ahead and do trading, and banks should go support it with full force. So that's what he said, and he said that he's sorry for what happened in terms of the market crash after the government made this very extreme statement. Right, the Ministry of Justice made the statement that it's considering to ban all exchanges, and that caused a huge stir in the Korean market as well as the global market as well. But he said he's very sorry for what happened, and that he will make sure that the government does not make any extreme statements in the future regarding the market regulation. So right now there are 4 or 5 banks that are kind of doing cooperation with the exchanges. Like, for example, Shinhan, Nonghyup, and Industrial Bank. But if necessary, he will try to support other banks to make cooperation with the exchanges. And this is actually very positive. And I think the government is right now is trying to make up for what the chaos that it has caused to the market. And it is, I think, considering the people, the negative response from the public right now, and a lot of people are frustrated about the hesitant government stance, and the market is not really reviving as expected. So that's what I think. This is a response to that, and yeah, this just happened. This just came out about 2 hours ago, and so people are saying, the government. They're making a lot of sarcastic comments, but about the government. But I mean, this is a pretty positive statement. So I think we can be in the long term. I think the government is considering a healthy market. So still in line with what happened last week. And this is actually a response. There was a petition, national petition, going on, and the Blue House had to respond to this petition if there was a response more than 20,000, right? 20,000, 200,000, yeah, and it actually surpassed 200,000. So the government had to respond to this petition that this asking is in against the regulation of cryptocurrency. trading or the blockchain industry. And the question was that the main topic was, has the government ever made people dream about such hopeful dreams? And so it was kind of very sarcastic, very criticizing the government's stance and the hesitance behind it. And the government had to respond to it, and it didn't respond right away, but it did respond just a few days back and Valentine's Day, and said that the government will ban illegal transactions, yet will foster the blockchain industry as a whole. So it did respond very positively, and within this current legal system, it is prioritizing the transparent trading of cryptocurrency, and it's trying to revise its current legal system to take in cryptocurrency trading and blockchain industry. So everything's new for the government as well. So government is really trying to learn. Although it's a little bit too late, but I think all governments are trying to learn, as we seen from the U.S. Senate hearing, right? So we've seen that the governments are trying to adjust to this new trend, and it might be a little people might be frustrated about the hesitant stance, but I think all governments are trying to learn and to make a really wise conclusion out of it. So that's the article. And so people were responding, oh, that's a very early response by the government, because it took a lot of time for this response to come out. So this happened. And actually, Cointelegraph covered this news in its article and said that, the 200,000 signatures from the South Korean public happened in January, and it demanded a government response, and it did, recently the government did give a response. So it's talking about how, government is very hesitant, right? And is talking about the tax system as well. And again, right now the tax system is being considered, but there's not been a final conclusion yet. So that's about the government stance. And about the industry as a whole, so there are many blockchain associations and institutions in Korea right now, and the Korean Blockchain Association, for one, that's we're going to cover that later, but it's actually defending the interests of the exchanges. And there's another one, KBI, it's a long name, Korean Blockchain Industry Association or something. So it's a longer name, but it has a lot of blockchain players, projects in it. And that's one. There's two. And then there's another one coming out. It says, this article talks about how holistic blockchain association will appear in April, or in March, actually. So this is is consisting of three major telecommunications giants in Korea, which are SK Telecom, LG, and KT. So actually, I met the woman behind this, and she was working for Korea Telecom, and then went to SK Telecom. And right now, she's she used to run Blockchain Open Forum with KISA, which the Korean Internet Association, and Blocko, and all these SKCNC, a lot of major corps. But it actually expanded to this huge association with 150 startups and ICT companies, including all the telecommunications giants. So it may cause quite a huge response, influence to the market. Maybe I'm not sure what it's trying to do, but I think as a representative of the blockchain industry as a whole, I think it's trying to make a really strong voice. So and it says that it has limitations, like the current existing associations, like the KBA and the other one. I think it has a lot of limitations. So I think this association is trying to embrace everything. So I would like to see what's new for this association. And I will cover the launch of this association, but this is kind of seeing this industry shift, right? I'm kind of seeing new players coming in and new associations coming in. And so in a line with what I covered before, the Korean Blockchain Association that I'm an advisor for, actually, there's an article about this, and small to medium sized exchanges are kind of showing what do you call it? Criticism about what the Blockchain Association is trying to represent. So there's the Self-Regulation Act that's trying to be launched by, accepted by the Blockchain Association. It's being made, but I think it doesn't really defend the interests of the small and medium-sized exchanges, and I think that's why they're kind of showing, I don't know, disinterest. So, I mean, I think this article covered that, the Blockchain Association is under a lot of, I don't know, noise, I guess. It's trying, I don't know if it's not, I mean, from what I know, it's not gonna, it's not gonna fall apart or anything, but I think there's a lot of diffusion over it. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, this is like the other association that I mentioned. And this is an article that I really like. Usually she covers a lot of the blockchain industry news in Korean, and she also covers this whole view of the associations, and especially the Self-Regulation Act made by the Korea Blockchain Association may be may not have a strong voice due to the reluctant banks and also reluctant exchanges that are trying to follow it. So, I mean, self-regulatory means that it's not legally binding. So, it may not have as, strong influence as, we might really want it to have. So, that's what this article is covering. And about the reluctant banks, the IBK, for example. IBK is collaborating with Upbit in making new accounts. And what it's saying is that IBK is a government-owned bank, actually. So it's very reluctant because it's caught in the middle, actually, between the government and the exchange. So it's natural that it is reluctant to, fully cooperate with Upbit and trying to make new accounts happening. So yeah, there's really interesting dynamics going on here. Oh, this is actually one of the, actually, I think this really was really shocking to a lot of people. So, I don't know if it's a rumor that, but this, I think the media is trying to kind of frame it so that, the blockchain industry and cryptocurrency industry is kind of framed as being, I don't know, negative, but it says that top government regulator regarding who was in charge of the cryptocurrency regulations, he died actually while at his home. He was sleeping, but people say, there were rumors like he committed suicide due to heavy stress. There's a lot of pressure going on, in government regulators, and because they have to find a, good conclusion very, very quickly. And I think he was under a lot of pressure. So I think the media is trying to emphasize the fact that there's a lot of pressure, and there's, under, cryptocurrency regulation. And so that's what caused him to die. And, there's a lot of drama going on, but it was like on headline news for, a lot of the media. So this, it got a lot of investors infuriated because this may not be the actual reason behind his death, but they framed it so that it's a direct cause of his death. So yeah, causing a negative stir here. Oh wow, it's a huge picture. So this news coming out today, but Chain Partners is actually a company builder in Korea, and it will release free cryptocurrency tokens. So it's going to have a free ICO. I mean, with collaborating with a lot of major corporations, and I think it's trying to kind of, kind of differentiate itself in saying that fundraising, too much fundraising may cause negative effects. So it's trying to kind of change the meaning of an ICO and trying to create its own meaning of ICO. And I think by collaborating with a lot of major corporations in Korea, is trying to have at least 5 coins issued within this year. And this is a CEO of Chain Partners, and I think it's a very interesting plan. I'm not sure how it's going to do it, but I think 50% of the coins issued will be issued for free to a lot of the public. The rest of the 50% will be owned by like major corporations who are issuing the coin. So, I mean, the issuance price will be zero, but I think as the time goes by, the corporations will, add value to it, and so it will cause, additional value and kind of result in the, coin price increase. So, that's what it's trying to do. So 50% for free, 50% owned by the major corporations. So I think it's very interesting. I think it's a new idea. I think everyone's kind of in consensus that, major corporations are going to come into this market in Korea. There's a lot of movement by a lot of major corps, and they're fishing around, I think, and trying to see what's the best, option or best BM to have. And I think this is showing that it is interested, and it is trying to collaborate with a lot of company builders in the blockchain industry. So very interesting to see, and I'm going to keep an eye on this plan. So we'll see what happens. And it was the holiday season last week, and it was a 4-day holiday, and this is the Korean culture showing a little bit, and actually Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is considered a new type of popular present for a lot of people. So this is a fun article, so I just wanted to share. And I think people would love to have Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as also honking going on, but as their present. And so this is a new form of present, and I think it's a very incremental in value. It will increment in value. So I think it's good for a lot of future generations. So yeah, this is very fun to see. And actually yesterday, there was an event held by Startup Alliance in Korea. So there's a huge startup culture in Korea, and it is also showing a lot of interest in this field, and I'm seeing a lot of ICOs coming out within this community. So I will definitely keep you updated for this, but there's going to be a lot of interesting projects going on in the upcoming months. Possibly next week or in 2 weeks, I can share some new project with you. I'm in a very unbiased position, so I'm just trying to share what's happening here, what's being released here, like Yggdrash, as I mentioned before. So, so there's been a lot of talks going on that's been hosted by startup, organizations, trying to get people involved in this discussion. And so MediBlock CEO and also partner from Hashed, the cryptocurrency fund in Korea, the most popular one, they all gathered for panel discussion. So I think the public's trying to, getting more interest, and they're, having more involvement in this industry talk, and people just don't care. The consensus is that they don't want people to be only caring about the price, right? So everything was about the price increase and about the, but now it's all about long-term investment or long-term, vision, and trying to contribute to the industry. So I think, we're trying to see a shift in the, in perspective among the Korean public. So I'm trying to do that as well. So yeah, this is actually, and yeah, a lot of news again. Last week was the holiday, so I couldn't do it twice a week, but let me see some comments. Hello. Oh yeah, Hamburg. And what do you think about foreigners? How do you think when foreigners who live in Korea can invest ones on Korean exchanges? I don't know what you mean. What do you think? Let's see. I lived in Korea for 10 years. It's the first read not to. Yeah, that's true. Sorry for a lot of foreigners who live in Korea. I'm very frustrated about this policy as well. Maybe, it may change its policy, but I think for the time being, it's going to be prohibited. What do you think about PundiX being listed on Saturday? Yeah. Oh, I'm not really. There's a Coin Nest meetup actually happening this Friday, I think, and PundyX is speaking there, presenting there. So, um, I don't really know about this project much. Yeah, but there is an airdrop going on, maybe, and it's also an Yggdrash. I heard from Min that the developer that left was not a core developer. People in Korea thought he was lead developer, which is not true. Yeah, there's a lot of noise going on in Yggdrash. Some are positive, some are negative. But I mean, for a lot of ICOs in Korea, there's all this criticism behind it. I mean, people just attack it by not. I mean, regardless of its feasibility. So I cannot say whether Yggdrash is cool or not, it's or legit or not, but people, I mean, the people behind it are serious about the ICO. I mean, they are moving forward. So there are a lot of pre-sale going on. So I cannot really tell subjective opinion on it. But I do know the developer in Yggdrash. So yeah, and is it possible to get Korean won with Bitcoin if you're a tourist? Tourist, I don't think so, right? Yeah, I don't think you can trade. There were some people who wanted to, they couldn't get anymore to trade, Bitcoin with Korean won, so they wanted me to do the transaction. They were so frustrated. They cannot do any payments or anything in Korea. So I mean, the payment system is not, very fluid here. So, and also exchange. So maybe a little frustrating. Can't wait to hear about super really crypto regulations. Fingers crossed. Yeah, definitely. So the final answer, I'm not sure. I think they're trying to make a big picture, and also they need some specific regulations. So they have to be very considerate here. They cannot just say, we're going to allow everything and just have no specific plans, right? So I think, this is a necessary time, to kind of lay low and to study and to discuss with relevant partners, industry players. So I think this is what's going on here in the Korean scene. Yeah. So I think this is it. Thanks for everything. And if you have any questions, please email me at KryptoSeoul@gmail.com. Also, I'll be speaking at a talk next week. It's being hosted by Crypto Minded. So Dylan is coming to Seoul to host a meetup here with Stellar and Mobius. So yeah, that's what's happening next week. But I'll probably have a show before that. Yeah, we'll see. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week.